PJ, here's one that might be for you or for Glenn. Could the main track be raked differently, deeper on the backstretch than the home stretch, to try to take away some of the early speed bias? So many races seem to be a boring merry-go-round after the break. Why does this not happen on turf?
Well, I wish it didn't happen on turf, but actually on the dirt, I mean, the way the racetrack is maintained, obviously we want an even, consistent cushion all the way around the racetrack. Certain times, whether it's the wind, whether it's the sun, whether it's the track transitioning out of a wet state from a muddy or good, and whether we're back raking or harrowing the track dries out differently. So unfortunately, I can't control when a track is transitioning. You know, the tree line that favors the backstretch, the way the wind, the way the sun gets on it in the morning, the track on the backstretch holds more moisture. We give out daily track sheets where we show our measurements on all the track. We're logging all of our data. We're taking moisture samples twice a day before racing and after racing. So we try and keep the racetrack as consistent and even as possible. So there's not a way that we can rake or harrow it that will adjust the speed or the way a horse. I mean, obviously you see horses that have gone to the lead early and have shown quick fractions up front. If you look in the program with the post-parade, they'll give the track trends, and I'm very happy to say in the track trends for the last 26 days that are showing on there, there's 3 days that showed early speed, and on those 3 days, there were tracks that were transitioning from a wet state.
Okay. Sticking with more betting related now, will you be offering 50-cent pick threes or trifectas in the near future?
We have had a number of requests for this, and particularly for the 50-cent trifecta. And we know there are a number of tracks throughout the country now offering this, Churchill, Keeneland, Gulfstream. We just want to be very careful and analyze the figures before we do it. We currently offer fractional betting. We have for a number of years in the superfecta with the dime super, which made perfect sense when you look at that bet and its degree of difficulty, trying to pick 4 positions and all the combinations involved and the permutation betting that takes place. So a dime made sense, and that helped the betting, and it allowed more people to participate in that pool. With the pick 4, the same thing. Well, in the pick 4, we've been at a 50-cent wager now for a few years, and what we were trying to do there is be cognizant of the late pick 4 on Saturdays, the guaranteed pick 4, and that's become such a success for us. We wanted to be careful to protect that pool. We actually found by lowering to 50 cents, not initially but over time, that actually increased the betting, and it's become a tremendous success for us. We went over $2 million on Saturday. We went $2.9 million at Belmont. The only bigger pick 4s nationally ever were 4 Breeders' Cup pick 4s, I think 3 at Santa Anita, 1 at Churchill. So it's been a tremendous success for us. With respect to new pools, we'll be offering a pick 5 with the opening of Belmont, and we'll offer a 50-cent wager there. Our main concern in looking at lowering the minimum is protecting the pool size, which is very important. NYRA has the biggest pools in the country, and we want to continue to make sure that is the case. And also protecting the winning value. We don't want to see that decrease. We know it will increase the number of winners, but we want to make sure it doesn't decrease the winning value. We want more winners in the pool, but we don't want to cheapen a pool by coming up with a price that people might not be interested in betting into that type pool anymore. I don't see that happening, but it's a consideration. We will certainly give this very careful consideration. We'll look at the numbers, and then we'll make a decision.
Any plans to expand late post times next year from the single Friday that we will have this year to perhaps multiple Fridays in next year or years going forward?
That's going to be something that I think bears looking at. I know it's only going to do it once this year. As some of you may know, I have spent a considerable number of years in Orlando in the tourism business. And to the extent that we could work together to try to enhance tourism for this area. And if we had a late Friday time for late post time on Friday, it might be something to look at. So we have one this year. Obviously, that was set before I joined, and we'll see how we do with it and what opportunities there may be for the future.
Does NYRA plan to request a reduction of the takeout rate?
Well, we're going to have a reduced takeout. I think Pat just mentioned we hope to have pick 5 when we go back to Belmont, and that will be, I believe, at a 15%
That's
rate.
correct, yes.
So that will be one, and we'll see how well that goes. I think that, you know, I have a bit of skepticism on the value of having an across-the-board reduction in takeout, but we have to look at it carefully because, like everything else, it's a very delicate balance.
Let's stick with the pick 5, Pat. Do we know when it's going to be offered, and if, regardless of whether we know when it's going to be offered, do we know what the rules of the pick 5 are going to be?
Yes, we're planning, anticipating on starting with it on opening day, September 7th at Belmont. We're waiting on some final approvals from the Gaming Commission. The rules will be a little bit different than the pick 6 in that we will be, when there is a 5-of-5 winner, we will be paying 100% of the net pool to the 5-of-5s. There'll be no minor payout for the 4-of-5s. And when there is not a 5-of-5 winner, we're going to carry the entire net pool and not pay a consolation prize, if you will, to the 4-of-5s. At a 50-cent wager, one less leg than a pick 6, we think this makes sense. We know we'll have fewer carryovers because it is one less leg, and there are going to be a lot more combinations covered at 50 cents. So we want to try and build a jackpot when we can. We want the winning payout to be a respectable one, and that's why we wanted to go to 15% on the pool. We will have surface change in that pool. The rule that we were using did not allow it. We worked with the Gaming Commission to try and put that in. That's important to make sure that the bettors are protected if a race is taken off the grass. So that will be part of the pool.
And by surface change, in case people don't know what that phrase refers to?
It essentially means that a race is taken off the grass after the pool closes. We have it in the pick 4. We have it in the pick 6. We wanted to make sure it was also in our pick 5.
So that would become an all race if
It'll become
No,
an
I'm
all-win
using the
race. So if
jargon.
you have the other winners with that, you would be a winner, and you could win the jackpot.
Okay.
It will be on our first 5 races. We'll start it with the first race. We'll still keep our pick 4 in the second race. It won't overlap with our. We want to protect our pick 6 and our late pick 4 as well.
Okay. Will NYRA consider expanding the distribution of rewards in its NYRA Rewards program so that they reach down to more customers rather than just to the whales in the pool?
Thanks, Eric. Yes, we're actually working on exactly that. In the near future, we plan on issuing an RFP for a new ADW platform, and part of that initiative will be to cast the rewards further down, I guess you could say, the betting chain. Because right now our program is very heavily weighted towards high volume wagering and cash rebates, and we feel that if we can bring the rewards more of a loyalty program down the food chain into admissions and programs, it's a way to get customers to interact and maybe come out with an incentive.
And I'm going to, one last specifically betting-oriented question. Why are you phasing out the parlay bet?
We're actually not. I don't know where that rumor came from, but the parlay's been in for a number of years. It will remain. I will say that when the parlay came in, you didn't have all the multi-race wagers that you do today. And now with rolling doubles, rolling pick 3s, we have 2 pick 4s, we're putting in a pick 5, we've had a pick 6 for many years. People have moved away from parlays into these multi-race wagers where they're only commissioned one time. But we do have a small group that likes to play the parlay, and we'll keep that in place.
Okay.